I have a question.
Sure you do.
What does it mean to suffer for the gospel? And I feel like when I say that phrase, the first thing that you think of is like getting a beating like Jesus, like when Jesus was carrying the cross.
Like the disciples too, when they were
Yeah,
preaching Jesus,
yeah.
they got beaten.
But I kind of get the sense when we give that phrase suffering for the gospel, I kind of get the feeling that that's not what it really necessarily would mean. I think what it could mean, but not what it necessarily means as far as like a physical suffering.
All of that above. Because when you say that you are Christian, what do people think about you? And
This not me. Oh, that was a rhetorical question.
Yes.
Okay.
What do they think about you? Because a Christian, based on what a Christian is, being Christ-like, thinking like Christ, that means you're for what God is for and against what God is against.
Yeah.
Well, the world today are taking things that God is against and saying they're right.
I see where you're going with this. Yeah.
And so when they know that you're a Christian, and so whatever it is that they're indulging in that God said the contrary, whether it's abomination, where it's detestable, where it's right, where it's wrong, what God says about it, that individual don't like you, don't want to associate with you. You know, you got it now where they're investigating that some of the companies, because people think certain things, denied them certain things based because of their belief. If you go into Hollywood and you have a Christian beliefs, there's people who say they've been blackballed because of their Christian belief. They didn't accept what the world is saying. They didn't accept what the industry said about certain things.
Dad.
Yes.
Dad.
Yeah.
You have on Argyle socks.
That's right.
I'm sorry. I went to the group camera.
Yeah.
And I see your styling and profiling right now.
Yeah. Bam. You got to look nice to be nice. You got to quote.
Duh, like, because I forgot about the group camera once. So I was like, oh, let me switch to the group camera and get both of it. I'm like, dang, his socks low-key fire.
Yeah. Man. I got them for Christmas. I got a group of them, man. They got, shoot, man, I got some good socks. And I don't know why, but I like Argyle socks.
Yeah, I know you do. That's crazy. Yeah. But I just saw that. It threw me off. But back to the top. And I definitely get that because I know as far as like me personally, there's some things I just won't post. I'll talk about it like one-on-one setting. There's some things I just won't post on social media because I don't want to open up those can of worms. Is that bad of me to not want to discuss like, okay, not saying that we go into discussion because I still don't want to talk about it. But like some of the major topics on social media right now that's controversial is like, you know, gay marriage, abortion, even like the death penalty, the gun stuff, anything like that. Those are some things that I don't talk about on a public scale as much. I'll talk to people one-on-one and like, you know, I've had plenty of conversations in groups like that and we briefly talked about them here on the podcast, but I don't go on my social media and post or have a sign up saying that I'm pro-life or pro-choice or whatever the case may be. And is that wrong for me to do that? Because, you know, I always talk about social media as being a platform to be utilized to use God's word and explain or whatever. Is that wrong for me to avoid that type of stuff?
No, you don't see me doing it. But see, some people do it to hide behind the social media. That gives them a platform that they can say what they think.
See, I feel like I'm too much in the public. I can't hide behind social media. Whatever I say on social media, it come to life in person because I'm out here.
Well, I get asked my opinion about that. Matter of fact, just a few weeks ago, somebody asked my opinion about one of the subjects.
See, you don't do that with Daryl Sutton Sr. because he's mean.
No. All I said is I asked the person when they asked me that, and I said, what does God say about it? And they was like, huh? I said, what does God say about it? And so when you look up, I had the person look it up, and I said, now, do you agree with God?
I guess that's a good way of getting like, but does that still change? I guess I wouldn't have to go to social media to do that. Like, that's not on me to go to social media to do that.
No. Because people just jump out there because something happens and they feel led to just put that out there. Boom, put it out there. But they have no teaching. And then anything, their motive for behind it from doing it. I don't know what their motives are for doing that.
Yeah.
You know, but like if somebody asks me, I'm going to tell them.
Yeah.
And then just like I did, I instructed them where to go to read it and asked them, what does God say about it? And then, do you believe it?
I have a question that's off topic of this.
Okay.
So you know the guy on the Buffalo Bills that just had heart issue?
Yes.
So I don't want your stance on when people do this, how you feel about this. Not going left or right, okay? Just how you feel when people do this. So everyone has been like stand for DeMar, hope DeMar gets better. Everyone's like his charity did like over $1 million.
$8 million.
God.
I just saw it. $8 million.
I didn't know it was $8 million.
Yeah. He was trying to raise $2,500. It's up to $8 million right now.
Dang. That's wild. Well, good for that charity.
Yeah.
But regardless, so people have been like staying for DeMar, this, that, and the third. I always talk about how my social media is a mix of all different type of people. And that's what I love. I do love my social media being like a melting pot for me because it makes it easier for me to converse with other people when they have an opposite view because I've seen it before.
Yeah.
And so I've seen people post like, oh, stand for DeMar. We hope DeMar gets better. He's a role model. He's a hero, blah, 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 blah. He's a fighter, that stuff. Okay, cool. And then on the other hand, I've seen people post like, why are we glorifying and celebrating DeMar? He's just an athlete. He makes, a boatload of money. Yes, I hope he gets better, but we are not highlighting like the cops that are getting like killed, or we're not highlighting what could cause that. Like, did he have his COVID shot? Like, I've seen all these different things, like all the conspiracies or like the comparison. Like, we're highlighting DeMar with his issue, but we're not highlighting the people that work behind closed doors and they're getting shot at every day or they're getting hurt. What is your thought process on the comparison? Not on left or right, who's right or wrong, but like this issue is up in front of us and people are adding this. What is your thoughts on that? Like I said, it has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but it just kind of triggered in my head.
Well, people gravitate where their feelings, their emotion, it touched them. Because I'm like this. Those rescue workers saved his life.
Yeah.
And so the argument, what I'm hearing is, why aren't they being
exactly.
rewarded?
And I seen a post. It was a post of the field with the ambulance driving off, and they sent a picture of it. They posted a picture, and it said, out of everyone in this picture, excluding people from the stands, the least paid person is the person saving this guy's life.
Yeah.
And so they was making a comparison of like, we're highlighting this guy for being on TV, to being a football player, to be a household name, even though he wasn't really a household name.
Right.
But like we're glorifying this guy when the real hero is the person saving this guy's life.
Right. Right. Yeah. I understand that. And they gave to his charity. This guy died on the field. He died on the field and they brought him back.
Yeah.
Then you have to look at now the NFL. If he can't play football again, he's been in the league, 2-3 years?
I think he's fairly new in the league. I can't remember how long.
He's not vested. You vested at the 5 years. He doesn't get a pension.
Yeah.
And so there's an argument about that. Is the way the NFL is structured and the way that the owners are taken away, so that there's a lot of arguments that can be brought up from that incident. My thing is, people are people.
Yeah. Whatever
moves them, how they feel, and now with social media and the ability to get your thoughts out there, they're using that as a platform now to get their thoughts out of it. And sometimes people making comments and thoughts and not thinking.
Yeah.
This
is, and I'm not giving my thoughts either way, but Dad, you're a gas man, right? Like, I mean, you work for the gas company, correct? If you help someone build a house, like if someone builds a house and they have to put in gas, plumbing or whatever, and you help put in the gas, and this might be a reach, I'm going to warn you, it might be a reach, and you help put in the gas, and then so the house looks great. You have a builder come in and an interior designer come in and they get your house looking great. And you'll invite people over and they look at your house and be like, oh, this is a great house. how many times do people be like, oh, this is only a great house because this person did this, the gas person came in here, the water people. Like, how many, like, even like in my field, like what I do, like, is I try to prepare people for the next level. When someone makes a school record, that school never calls me.
No.
Like, Daryl, you did a great job. Like, the parents will thank me, but if someone goes to the league, someone goes to a college, the college doesn't come back and thank me.
And some of their coaches won't even appreciate what you've done.
Yeah, no. So, like, I don't know. I'm not giving my opinion either way. I just thought that was very interesting.
Well,
because I do see the other side, like, okay, yeah, you know, but I also see, I just don't know where I stand with that. And I just was wondering, and that literally, I just wonder where you hit.
Well, that's like your granddad. He passed away this past summer, this past July. And the pastor did the funeral, and you had people from the church that helped with the obituaries and did a lot of things like that. And I thanked them. But you know who I think is the least most appreciated and thanked people at the church when stuff like that happened?
The greeter ministry.
No.
Who?
The multimedia.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Yeah. And so I myself acknowledge them, because to be there and see, I was at the church when they used to have to wire the church every Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And then take it down.
You know why I remember that, Dad? You know why?
They just go to Sunday school.
No, I remember that because you and Mom do everything in the church. Mom was a part of the greeters ministry, and so that means y'all had to get up there 5 hours early before the church even started, and me and Tori had to go too.
Okay.
As my mom just walked in the room, she about to be on camera. So I remember them picking up them wires and stuff because I had to be there.
Yeah, and everybody get there. They're hearing the music. The mic's working. Things are going on. And then if one little hiccup happened, they turn around and look at them with the stink eye, you know. But what they had to go through to make that stuff work.
Yeah, I do think it's like pros and cons to it. Like because what I said made it sound like I'm on one side, but I'm really not. I really don't know where I stand with that. Yeah. But I definitely understand, because some people look at it like he's just a football player, and then you have people out here saving their lives, which I 100% understand. And other people look at it like, dang, this guy died, and he, the people were able to help him get back. But the fact that, he died, we should be happy that he's okay and feeling okay. But I don't know. That has nothing to do with what we talked about.
But the real thing is, and from a Christian perspective, is what I saw is prayer working. Regardless of what some people think about prayer in public and stuff, nobody opened their mouth about prayer happening in.
Yeah, no. And then even I seen the post of this newscaster. Usually when they pray,
that was the NFL guy on the analysis. He prayed on camera. Yeah.
And usually when that happens, don't they cut the camera because of just like religious beliefs and stuff like that?
Right.
And so I did see that, and then I haven't heard any backlash on that.
Right. Wow. And then when they hit the Twin Towers, people were come together, pray publicly. You didn't hear any backlash on that either when that happened.
I think I was too young to remember that.
Yeah. But that's it. So, like I said, people are people. And you're going to have opposing views in whatever it is. It's always another side to an issue. Mm-hmm. And so you have to weigh it, and especially weigh it based on God's word. And
I think that's my takeaway is word for word. People are people. And so you got to weigh. What did you say next?
It's your takeaway.
People are people. And so people are going to operate the way that they feel comfortable. But as far as like how we operate, especially being believers, is that we have a blueprint and an example of how we should move. And so to use that and not just to move off of like our feelings or emotions in that specific situation when we have God to kind of,
Mm-hmm. Well, in Philippians 2, it says, let this mind be in you, which is also in Christ Jesus. So we should think as he think. So whatever it is, what is his thoughts on it? And that's the way we should operate. in doing that, we're glorifying him.
Is that your takeaway?
Yes. I almost said your word, but I'm going to let you.
Boom! Too late. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of No Negations Podcast. We want to thank you for listening to this podcast or watching it. If this is your first time with us, we love for you to subscribe to hear upcoming discussions. If you want more information about this topic or others, go to www.nonegations.com. There you can review or print our show note transcript.
Buy my book.
And his book. They are great. Is it going to be on the website?
What? It's on my website. www.solnetimpactconsulting.com.
This is No Negations, so.
And it can be on www.nonegations.com also.
So while we're here, make sure you follow Sky High Fitness. I dropped the bike. But yeah, so yeah, you can check out his book. I guess it might be on our website or whatever. We charge a fee to hold the book on the site, man.
And it might be in blended.
But make sure you check out our show note transcripts. They're great for group Bible studies and personal Bible studies. If you like what you heard today, click that review button and leave us a nice review. Tell us what you loved about this episode or which episode you heard was your favorite. You can also suggest future topics that you want us to discuss. You can support us financially by ordering any of our No Negations apparel or by donating it. It helps us reach our monthly goals, buy new equipment, and provide good content. I'm gonna run out of time. No, I'm not. If you are in or near the Canton, Ohio area, you can purchase our apparel at Blended, located in Belden Village Mall, located right next door to the Macy's, so check us out. If you're in search of a community of like-minded people looking to grow in their faith, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We would love to have you join us. So until next time, remember to seek God first and never give up.
Deuces.
I did it. Yeah.